Welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight. I am joined today by Manny Garcia. He is the co-founder of Sherman Industries. Manny, thank you for taking the time and being on this episode of the Business Spotlight. We know that time is very valuable. So again, thank you for taking the time. I'm excited to learn more about yourself, about what you do in your company. Without further ado, Manny, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Thank you, Edgar. Thank you for having me. I'm an electrician by trade, and being an electrician, you see what works and what doesn't work. I've been doing this for 30 years, and so I've been able to see the span of electrical, and I've seen what worked and what fails. And so putting this knowledge into my product, I developed a data receptacle that's dynamic. It's the problem with, I know it's not a sexy topic, but the problem with a data receptacle is that it can't change, and technology is constantly changing. So a data receptacle has to do the same thing. So I invented a product. It's a nice niche product. And then going the steps from being an electrician to becoming an entrepreneur, to be developing a product. And so I've gone through these steps. We're in production right now. Tooling just completed. We just gave the okay on the samples a week ago. And we're moving forward. We're doing trade shows. We're getting the word out. We have a list of hundreds of companies that want samples once we have the samples. And so it's a very exciting time because I'm getting over that hump.
Yeah. You know, Manny, and congrats on creating something that's definitely needed in the industry, right? I know I have a background in telecommunications from the Marine Corps, so I'm really excited, and I've seen the product myself back in the past. So I'm excited to see it finally roll out and get out to the public. Manny, that leads to my first question. You know, you've been in the industry, you said 3 decades now. What do you feel is most misunderstood about your industry?
The thing about electrical is it's something people can't see. So it becomes voodoo. You tell people, well, your TV's blurring out because you have an electromagnetic field over here. And so that's the thing. The wires are on the wall. People really don't see what goes on. You plug into the wall and that's the end of it. And but I don't know if it's something that everybody really has the ability to understand either. It's a weird art.
Yeah. Manny, and part of the Business Spotlight is to inspire people who are thinking about getting into entrepreneurship, or they're, thinking about starting a company. What inspired you to start your business?
What inspired me? I got a patent. I had an idea. I filed a patent. I got the patent, and it's like the roadrunner or the coyote catches the roadrunner. And now what do? I have a patent. I don't know anything about starting a business. I don't know anything. But you're going to walk past that patent every day on the wall, and you didn't do anything. You didn't try. So that's it. At least I can say I tried.
Yeah. So you saw something that you knew the marketplace needed, created and patented, and a product, which not a lot of people can say they patent something, right? And I'm sure that had its obstacles with learning the patent and how to go through that. Can you walk us through what that process looked like?
Oh, it was, it's like everything. The first one's the hardest. And the first patent, I tried to file it myself, and it was a disaster. And back and forth with the patent office for years. And finally, they wrote me a letter. They said, you get an attorney or you stop bugging us. And so then I had to find an attorney, and this was something that had already been started. So it was an ordeal. The second patent, the third patent, lickety split, piece of cake, painless. But the first one, just same with everything, same with the business, the manufacturing. What I'm doing now with the business, the pain is a one-time pill. And once you've figured out, once you've learned it, once you've overcome it, it's not scary the second time.
Yeah, and that's really important is the learning process, right? In the military, we're taught failure is not an option, right? But it's from those failures that we learn and take to keep growing, right? How do you stay motivated and focused on your goals, Manny?
I see the end. I see where it's going. I see the reward,
Mm,
and it's difficult. It's difficult because you give up the short money. You give up the dates, and you give up the steady job, and you give all that up, and you keep telling yourself that the long money is going to come. We're going to get the payoff. And there's times it's difficult. There's times it's incredibly difficult to get motivated to get to the computer, but that's what you have to do. Entrepreneurship isn't easy.
mm.
Nobody gives you puts a cookie in your lunch for you. Nobody tells you have a great day, congratulations. Nobody says anything to you. You get pounded. But you have to see your goal. You have to see, just like the military,
Yep.
right? You stay focused on your objective, you overcome your obstacles, and you keep moving.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really, really good advice. And I think a lot of the viewers will find value in that, right? Is if you have a goal, you know what you're working so hard for, even through the challenges that life is going to throw at us, you learn to break and overcome those barriers. Manny, what advice would you give 20-year-old Manny who is just getting into business?
Shut up. Shut up and listen. That's what I would tell myself.
Mm. Now, when you say listen, what do you mean by that?
I was a cocky little 20-year-old.
Mm.
And you were a Marine, I'm sure you weren't much different. And I knew everything, and nobody was gonna tell me what's up. And I don't know everything. And there's a lot of people, and people won't tell you what they know until they see a value in you, until they see that there's going to be a return on that investment. If you're a cocky little loudmouth punk, nobody's going to waste their time teaching you anything. But if you're sincere and you're trying to learn, people will take the time, because people give you that's valuable, they give you freely. The
Hmm.
most valuable things people give you, they give you freely, but they don't give it to everybody.
Yep. Yep. I think I read it in a book that the most valuable time that we can do is give someone our time, right? Which like you talked about, paying it forward. So the people that are mentoring, right, and showing us the way and helping us grow, those are mentors. You know, in if you really think about some of the most difficult things that we learned in life, we didn't learn on our own, right? As kids, we had our parents to teach us the fundamentals. Then when we went to school, we had teachers and mentors, you know, to go through the education process, and even up until we started our very first job. You know, everything, if you really think about it, significant, we've always had mentorship or guidance. And that's what we've been doing with business coaching, right? Is the clients that we work with, they are very smart and talented people at what they do. But you talked about it earlier, right? When you get into entrepreneurship, it is hard. There is no manual for it, right? In us as business coaches, that's where we're there to guide those entrepreneurs in teaching them the education of business. And that's all it really is just the educating part and the learning and the knowledge, and having those systems in place. Now, with that, biggest challenge you're currently facing, Manny, and how are you tackling that challenge?
The biggest challenge I'm facing right now is I don't generate income. And I
Mm,
don't generate income because I don't have the product, and I don't have the product, and I don't have sales. And that all relates to the valuation of the company. If the company doesn't have sales, the company doesn't have a valuation. So my company is about to get sales, maybe about 60 days or so-ish from signing the PO. So between that point and now, I've got to go into production, and I've got to go into certification, and I've got the credit cards, and I'm loading up the credit cards, and it's terrifying. But if I bring in an investor at this moment, it's not the right time to
mm,
bring it. And I understand that because of the situation. So that's it. That's it. Is do I bring somebody on? What kind of terms am I going to get? Do I tough it out? Do I just go down the hard road a little bit longer and get to the end? And now all of a sudden, I have financial people contacting me
yeah.
because 2 months ago they were running away. and so everything changes, and so that's where I'm at, is seeing where I'm going to go the next step. But I'm definitely going forward down one road or the other.
Yep, yep. And look, it's a journey. There's going to be peaks and valleys, right? And you're going through that right now. It's like, hey, is the risk worth the rewarding? You know, it's going to be with the project that you patent the product. What's your vision for the future with the business?
That goes back to that investor question. So an investor wants to get out in 5 years, whether that means buy them out or keep the company or sell the company to somebody else. So I don't know if I want to exit the company. I think I want to grow the company into something. And so that's what I'm looking at is not exiting. If I have an investor, I guess I'll have to deal with how to buy them out. But I want to build a company first.
Yeah, yeah. So as we're getting out of COVID, you know, we're at the tail end of it, Manny. Along this entrepreneurship journey, what have you personally learned about yourself?
I'm a lot tougher than I thought I was.
Yeah, yeah. It takes
I
it
didn't
takes
know
a
if I
different
could
type of
do it.
person. Yeah. Um, how do you stay inspired with the journey you're going through?
I keep getting victories along the way.
Mm,
I keep getting a taste of victory. It's not like I'm just out there hanging on a vine. I'm getting progress. I'm moving forward and I'm seeing it.
yeah, and I think that's important, right? Like you got to learn to celebrate those small little victories. It's a long journey. It's a tough journey, and knowing that, hey, we celebrate those small little wins, and that's going to keep us motivated to break that next barrier. Now, before we wrap up today's business spotlight, Manny, what's the best way if people want to get a hold of you, if they want to learn more about your product? You know, what's the best way for them to connect with
Probably through LinkedIn.
you? Mm-hmm.
Look me up on LinkedIn, Manny Garcia, Sherman Industries. I'm easy to find.
Perfect. And then as far as the product, can you tell us a little bit more about the product, what it does, you know, how it works and how it's going to revolutionize the electrical industry?
Originally, data receptacles were designed the same as your 120 outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Your 120 outlets haven't changed in 120 years, and your data receptacles have gone from a coax, they've gone double, triple, and it's an evolving thing. So when they did the original electrical, it was installed in the wall with a bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So the uniqueness of my product, for one, it's modular, so pieces can be added and pieces can be removed. However, so whenever Sony dreams up something new, we can just go add a piece. But each piece is individually retaining. So there's no need for a wall bracket. There's no need to have demolition. Something can be installed today, 10 years later, somebody can come back to it. They can work it without tearing everything up. They can add pieces. The inputs can be changed. So however technology evolves in the future, wired technology, home networks, this is a product that has the ability into the future to maintain with that building and be serviceable for the life of the building. And what it comes down to is it eliminates that wire clutter. Those little nest of wires we have below all of our electronic devices, this
Yep.
will help you get away from that because you can always update your system, keep everything tucked away nice and neat.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
love
what we
that.
accomplish.
Yeah, it gets away the rat's nest with wires.
So I was trying not to go there. I was, trying to be PC about it, but that is the industry term for that.
That's right. That's right. Like I said, I had a background in telecom, so I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. Now, Manny, you know, thank you for being on this episode of the Business Spotlight. There is one last question I do have. What's one question that I did not ask that you wish I did ask?
Say that again.
What's one question that I did not ask that you wish I did ask?
I really can't think of one, honestly. I would say the business is going well. The
Yeah.
business going well. We're right on track, and it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we're excited for you, Manny. Thank you for taking the time again for being on this episode of the Business Spotlight, and I look forward to connecting with you. And I will see you.
See you, Edgar. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too.